hello my lovelies, it's Woo from Woo's Creations, or better known as Wendy. Today we're going to be creating some little gifts. I know that it's coming up to the end of term as we are June the 23rd 2021. Pre-recorded a video. I have made the base already because basically the only difference between the base and the top is one notch or a couple of mil on your measurements when you're scoring. So the size of the piece of paper that you start with is exactly the same size. Now I've used inches because it worked out easier for me in my little brain to work out in inches. So you need two pieces, one DSP, one plain. You could do two DSP, it's up to you, whatever you use, but I find that the cardstock is slightly thicker, so for a base it's a little bit sturdier. So I have used white cardstock, and the paper I cut to 7 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to cut this piece to 7 3/4. So I'm just going to fold out the arm of my trimmer so that I can get 7 3/4 like so. I will show you also another box that I've made, because the host DSP that you can get if you spend over a certain amount, or you host a party and between you and your friends you get to a certain amount, you get the choice of some host gifts. Why did I put the trimmer away? Because I need to score it. So my little brain struggled with this slightly, but to get this piece, to get the top to fit over this, it needs to be slightly bigger in the diameter of the base to fit. So this one is scored at 2.5 inches. So with this one we're going to go 2.5, but then by minusing one little notch, so it's 2 and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7/8. So we're scoring this one at 2 7/8. Let me just move my cutting tool out of the way, and so we're going to do the same measurement all the way around, 2 7/8. And I mean, you can work out a box size with just about anything. So I'm going to do packet for a soap. I have also done one for, so it's probably going to be like a little series of them. So there's this one, which is, it's been sat in there for so long. It's a little bath bubble. Now my friend Laura, she does Body Shop, and I will put her link below, and if you order you can have it sent directly to you from Body Shop. And we're going to work together a little bit so that I make some boxes for her teacher gifts. Okay, so we've scored that now, so then we need to trim our edges. Now it's the same for the base as it is for the top. So you cut up to the score line that is going across, and you do this on those two, and then you turn it round and do the same on the other side, making sure that when you trim up that you go right to the corner, right to the score line, because otherwise when you start folding it, it can tear your corners. Okay, so now I'm going to fold in this middle piece out of the way. So as you can see, it looks a bit like an eye now. So all I'm doing is making little notches on the sides. So I'm going to keep those pieces for another project, or I might incorporate it into my tag, because I will make tags for these as well. So I'll keep those separate to the side. Then I'm going to go around and notch all of these because it makes a neater fold. When you fold it in, you don't have any pieces sticking out. So it just neatens it all up. And I mean, if you're feeling creative, you could even colour in the flowers. And what I love about this is that when they open the box, if they just lift it off like that, it's so bright inside. Right, so then we are going to score and burnish our edges. Now, I do use a bone folder because, as you can see, it's more likely to hold its shape than if you just fold it. It wants to go back out. So if you do that and then use your bone folder, it will stay in a shape that you want it to and not try to bow back out. So as you can see, that's stayed square, which is how I want it. So I'm going to take my tear and tape and I'm going to place a bit on here on each flap, trying not to go too close to the edge. If you do go over the edge, I'll just show you. If you go too far and you end up with an overlap, I'll show you what to do with that in a second. So push them all down so they're nice and firm, and then I take my pick tool and I just lie my pick tool flat so the tip is touching where the edge of the paper is, and then as you slide it lifts the top piece off so that you can stick it down. So if you find you have overlap on the end, all you do is use your pick tool and push it in, and it just sticks to itself because obviously it's sticky. So we're just going to go round and take off all of our tape. I have noticed on this one piece I haven't really got enough, I didn't go close enough to the edge, so I'm just going to pop a little tiny piece just there, and then we're just going to lift that off. There we go. Right, so then all you're going to do is lift your sides, line them up straight, give it a bit of a stroke to hold it in place. Same the other side, so you're just lining up your edges so they meet again. So you line it up, meet, give it a bit of a rub, and it will stick. And I love tear and tape because once you've done it, it is done. You know, liquid glue does take a few seconds to actually grab. So then you have your box. Perfect. So then you can take your, this is the gift I measured this one for, and it's a day cream. So it's a bit of a, you know, just a small gift. And as I said, you can make the boxes so easily. So all I did was I measured the diameter of my container. So measured across, added a couple of mil or a couple of eighths, and then did the same with the depth of the box. And then I just drew it on a piece of paper so that you can see it written down, which is always easier for me. And then voila. So then you can take some, let's have a look, maybe some polished pink ribbon. So on my other one that I made originally, I got myself, I'm pretty sure this was what I did, so we're gonna have a go. So 24 inches of ribbon. Sounds a lot, doesn't it? But what I do is I go down like this, flip it over, cross over underneath the box, and then when you come back up to the top, see, that's still very short, isn't it? So what you could do is tuck that one under that side, and then that one goes under that side. So if you wanted a bow, I'd add another sort of 3 or 4 inches onto that length, and there you go. So yeah, I would add a bit more. So that was 24 inches on a 2.5 inch diameter box, like each side. So there you go. So we're going to make a little tag to go with this. And you could just use a piece of the piece that you've cut off and make a little shape. So let's have a look what we've got. I think that, no, that's very small. Like, that's like very small. And then that one maybe. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out of a scrap piece of, will that fit? No. I need a scrap piece of paper. This will do. I'm going to cut out this shape. On my big shot. And then if I cut out, let's have a look. I'm trying to decide what to do. Okay, that's not quite, yeah, that will do, that will be okay. So we're going to cut out this one, and then I'm going to incorporate that into it as well. And then you can just write on the back of the tag. So you've got a little piece here, and stick that onto there like so. And actually what you could do is put it towards the top. Now I have a hole punch, but for the life of me I cannot find it anywhere. So at the moment, all I'm doing is I have this this was for cake making, and it has a few little holes. So what I do is I line up roughly where I want my hole, and I use my pick tool to make my hole. You see? And then I will get a little bit. Oh, that's the last of my polished pink. Ribbon, and thread it through. So obviously you can write your tag before you do this part, and then just thread it through there. I just want to tie it at the top, so it's more like a tag. There we go, so it can hang down like that. Then I'm going to add this onto here, so tuck that under there, and then I'm going to trim off. So I do have a little bit of my ribbon left, and then I'm just going to tie a little knot. You could just tie it on to the top when you tie your main ribbon on, which is probably easier than what I'm doing right now because I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. You could tape it onto the top. Let's see if I can do it a different way. I don't think I made them long enough to do what I want to do with it. Let's have a look. I mean, I make the mistake, so you don't have to. There we go. So do that, and then it'll hang on your and then you can write whatever you like in it, and it's got like a two, you know, you can see the pretty colours underneath there as well. So that's that one. That's that box. So I'll show you the process of working out sizes now. So let me just put these away. Nope, that goes... Where does that go then? I thought that went... Well, that's weird. I'm not entirely sure what I've done there, to be honest. Oh no, that one goes there. That's what it is. See, look. And then that one goes back there. And that... Dear me. Okay, so... The other one I made is this one. And this actually, the branch you can see on there is from garden birdhouses. So I might make a tag for that in a bit. So let's have a look. So we have this one. Now this one has the little moringa bath bubble. Okay, so for this box we're going to cut some spotty paper this time. So this has soft succulent background with the basic white spots. So this one is going to be, just to be awkward, it's in centimetres, because, you know, it depends on what I'm making, depends on partly where I get the idea from, but these ones I've made myself. So because I'm British, we tend to use centimetres more than inches. And on the box it was actually easier to use inches, but this one is easier with centimetres, which is just a pain in the butt. So this one, I need it to be 13 centimetres by 16 centimetres. So I'm going to have to open the arm, and 16 is like a bit awkward because it's kind of... Okay, so there's 15. So 16 is there. Okay, so there's 16. Right, so that's the size I need my piece. So then, oh, I put this, look, I keep putting it away. I need a little scoreboard, I do. Right, so basically we are going to score this on the long side of the paper at 2 centimetres. Oh, hang on a second, move my blade out of the way because, you know, I'm renowned for causing havoc and cutting things when I'm supposed to be scoring them. So 2 centimetres. And then 7.5 centimetres. And then I'm going to turn it around. And then I'm going to do 1 centimetre. Then I'm going to do 6.5. And then that should leave me with a 2 centimetre middle piece. Perfect. On the bottom, so if you've got directional paper, then you need to decide, but this one doesn't really have any which way. So what I'm going to do is I need to do a 2 centimetre score line from where I would call the bottom of my bag, and there we go. Okay, so this then will have some pieces cut, so we don't need this bottom tiny little wedge here, so that can be cut off, and I'm going to wedge either side of where I've trimmed that off, and at the top, And then on the other side, I'm going to cut up to the score line at the bottom for each score line left. Oh, so I'm just going to wedge that one because I cut slightly to one side of the score line. Okay, and then we're going to wedge them, but not too much, just a little tiny bit. You don't need to do much. It's just to give the corners a neater folding. Okay, and then that one. Okay, let's just move all our little bits out of the way. So then we have that left. So next we're going to fold and burnish the edges. Like I said, use the bone folder because it will hold its shape better once you have placed it all together. So again, on the bottom, I'm going to fold and burnish these. There we go. Right, so then we're going to glue all of these together. So first of all, I am going to do the side edge, and the easiest way to do that is to get some tear and tape. Put it on my wrist because I like to have it controlled, and place it all the way down the side on your smallest flap. So this side's 2 centimeters, this side is 1. So place it on there. And actually, while we're here, I think it's easier to put the tape all on here while it's still flat. Like so. So place that on there. Stuck to the desk. And then the last one will go on there. Okay, so we're going to peel off this one and then fold these out of the way for a second. Hold this down and then fold the bag in half, and it will give you a straight edge. So when you fold it up, it's all very symmetrical. So then we are going to peel off our sticky from the bottom on the bottom flaps. So if you're using a pick tool, be careful because you don't want to be stabbing yourself, because it's very easy to do. Okay, oh, that does not want to stick. It doesn't want to let me do it. No, it's still doing it. Okay, we're going to come back to that one in a second when it's had time to sit. So if you just gently rub the edge, it will come up. But this one didn't want to. See, look, it's just taking the sticky off. Honestly, see? Even us who've been doing this for a little while now, over a year, still struggle with that. I'm going to try and do it with my nails instead. It's partly the reason I like it to be flat on a flat surface when you do it, but when you're doing it, I'm going to try and get it from the other side. Oh, this is so awkward. I'll probably just delete this bit. With me struggling with the tape that's just coming off. Okay, so then we're going to fold in our sides and the bottom and the top flaps, and I've done it wrong. Right, you don't need to put tape on both of those, but because I have, and for the sake of not wanting to have to make a whole new video, I'm just going to make a little panel that will be stuck onto the bottom. It will make the bottom a bit stronger anyway, but there you go. Okay, so ignore that. So basically only put tape on one big flap and the two small ones, obviously then, because your one flap will be your base. Dear me, it's going to be one of those days today. I've had to film quite a number of times. So with this one, what I did was I got the Tasteful Labels dies again, and I made myself a panel to go over the top of the card. So what I'm going to do now is choose a colour, and I think we'll go with, oh, I know what we can use. Oh, exciting times. So we can use some shimmer vellum. Oh my goodness. So if I get out the, right, can you see the shimmer? Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece of this because it's a little bit big to go into my cutter. So I'm going to do that and that. Okay, so place that on there. Here we go. Trim. Okay, so we have a piece of shimmer vellum. So you don't necessarily have to put, you know, you can put anything you like. I used, for this piece, which is retiring shortly, Flowering Vine dies. I love these. They are beautiful. They come in handy for lots of things. I didn't get the stamps as well, just the dies, because it was mainly these doilies that I wanted and the sentiment cutter. So they are beautiful. And I did cut out of the normal white vellum, that piece, and then a piece of Pool Party cardstock. Okay, so with this one, all you do to fold the top is just push with your fingers at the sides and squeeze it together, and it closes. So with the vellum then, you decide where the middle is. So what I do is I fold it in half and burnish it a little bit, like so. And vellum is very easy to do that with. It's quite a stiff paper, so it will just fold. Okay, and then we need to glue it on one side. Now, I am aware that with vellum, it generally shows through. So on the inside, I'm going to put some tear and tape. And if it shows through, then I will find something to cover it, you know, so that it doesn't show anymore. Okay, where's my pick tool again? See, working fine again now. Now it's on a flat surface. I can do it easy. So then I'm going to line up the back of the back of the bag, secure it down, and there you have that bit. And then I have some pegs that I've had for quite some time that I decided to use up. Just some plain little pegs. So all I've done is, let me just grab a piece of scrap. So I think it's about a centimetre. Let's have a look. So the peg is approximately just over 1 centimetre, but 1 centimetre would give you a little tiny border, and it is 1 3/4 sorry, I'm doing it in inches again, 4.5 centimetres long. So I'm just going to cut a piece, just trim it in a little tiny bit, and then I'm going to put it that way. That's what I'm going to do. How wide did I say it was? It's just 1 centimetre. So I'm going to put it at 1 centimetre, and then I'm going to move my trimmer down past where my paper is, and then I'm going to make sure it's straight, which it is not. So finger on that side, and then I'm going to take it up to where I trimmed, and it's left that piece behind. Okay, and then all you do is, I would make it just slightly under 4.5 centimetres long. You can either glue it, but I will use tear and tape because it will stick on really nice and firm and straight away. So if you find that you want your tear and tape to cover the whole piece, but it's not quite wide enough for you to do 2 rows, what I do is I put one piece on, take the cover off, and then place the other piece on top, making sure it doesn't go over the edge. So when you've done that, then you can take the other side off, and they will be overlapping slightly in the middle, but that doesn't affect its use. And then you can stick that on your bag, like so. So you could make a little tag. So let me just use, I'm just going to use a piece of this as an example. You just make the tag. You don't need to make a hole in it because you can stick your tag on with your peg, just like that. So, okay. Right, so that's our 2 bags for today. I am going to do another box, and that is actually just the way you fold it. There's not a lot of cutting and gluing and things on it. It's more of a origami kind of style packet. So I'll do another video for that. Okay, so let's recap on our boxes. So let's bring in this one. The other thing you could do with this one is, instead of using a peg, if you don't have pegs, is you can make a hole through the whole thing, and you thread your, like you would with a tag, you thread your ribbon through, and then you just tie it in a knot here, so it's just got a tassel hanging up there. You could, if you have, some people have those Velcro buttons, you can put them on, and as you can see, the tear and tape is not really showing through the shimmer paper, so that's great. I really like that idea because that will come in handy for cards as well. But there we go. So if you've got, you know, teaching assistants that you just wanted to give a small gift to, we have a little bath bubble that's like a please go and relax present, and that fits in there quite nicely, and I'm pretty sure you could find a little chocolates or something to go in there. But obviously, like I did, don't do it. So only put glue onto one of your larger flaps. But I could have used the same spotty paper and put that across there, and it would, you'd never know. So there we go. So there's our 2 boxes, tag and all. If I make this again, I will definitely put a bow on the top rather than a knot. But other than that, I'm very happy. So thank you so much for watching, and I will be uploading another video with another box very shortly, because we don't have very long left now until the kids break up from school. Thank you. Bye bye.